guys, and welcome back to Haywire Homestead. So today we're in the kitchen. I'm going to go ahead and prep dinner, but this is kind of a dinner prep, but also meal prep. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually making my homemade chili, and we're going to have that for supper, and I'm going to take and can the leftovers so we can use them at a later date. So this is just how I do it. I don't really 100% measure everything, but what we're going to be using is 2 pounds of grass-fed beef. This came from my grandparents' farm. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here and start cooking it. There's just a little bit of olive oil in there in my big stock pot. I'm going to grab a spoon. So start to break that up and brown the burger. Now, I'm also going to add 2 whole onions because I'm making a big batch. So 2 whole onions, big ones if you can get them. These are a little bit smaller, so I've got like 4 because we grew them and they didn't get real big. And then I'm also doing 5 cloves of garlic minced, and those, while I didn't grow them, while I didn't grow these cloves, they did come from a local farm. So trying to keep everything as close to home as possible. At least that's what I hope. I hope next year I'll be able to say the garlic came from my place, since I just planted all my garlic. And I've got a video on that, so look to that in the next day or two. I just finished that. I've got to edit that video. So I'm going to get all of these diced up. I'm also using tomato sauce that came from tomatoes out of our garden, as well as diced tomatoes that I canned that came out of our garden. And then the spices that I'm going to be using are, I pick most of them up from the Amish store if I can. We've got smoked paprika, kosher salt, black pepper, oregano, chili powder, of course, and cumin. I also like to add a little cilantro, dried cilantro to my chili. That's just my preference. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this browned up and started, and then I'll show you. Okay, after I get the hamburger browned, I add the garlic and the onions, and I just let them cook for just a few minutes. And then I'm going to add my homemade tomato sauce, as well as the diced tomatoes to it. The diced tomatoes are already in there. And then we're going to add beans. Now, I didn't grow any beans that I can put in here, so I like to do a mixture of black beans as well as kidney beans. So I try to buy organic. When it comes to the seasonings, honestly, it's going to be to taste. I just add it, let it simmer for a little while, and then I taste it, and then if I think it needs more, I add more, because I don't measure anything. And sometimes I make a little bit bigger batch, and sometimes I make a smaller batch. I don't use the seasoning packets because a lot of them have a lot of additives, so I just do everything on my own. If we were going to pick a seasoning packet, my husband's is Chilio seasoning packet, but it contains maltodextrin, which is corn base, and I cannot eat that. So anything with corn is a no. We're just going to add some more beans. And then, like I said, nothing measured, so I'm just going to throw, I've already added some salt and pepper when the meat was cooking. So I'm just going to add a large pinch of dried cilantro, and I had to open a brand new thing of oregano, so probably about a teaspoon to start off with for the oregano. chili powder, we're going to put a couple of tablespoons to start. Probably closer to 3 because I really am making a big batch. And then cumin, same thing, a couple of tablespoons. And paprika, probably about 2 teaspoons worth. It has that nice smoky flavor. And then the last thing I'm going to do is some people use a white sugar. I like to use brown sugar. This is an organic one that I picked up, and I mean, just a heaping tablespoon is really all you need. You don't need much more than that. I don't want it sweet. It just helps take a little bit of that tartness out of the tomatoes. And we're going to stir everything up. I don't think I forgot anything. And then now it's just time to sit and wait and let it simmer. Oh, you know what? I've got some frozen peppers in the freezer. We can add some of those. So these are some frozen green peppers out of the garden. So I can add a bag of those in there. I think I have some banana peppers that I diced up in there too that I could just add, which would make it a nice pop of color. You're supposed to eat your colors. So we'll add a small bag of those as well. So these are banana peppers. There's a couple of different, some of them are red, some of them are still green. I don't make a really horribly spicy chili. Occasionally I will add a little crushed red pepper to it, but my kids don't like a really spicy chili. So usually I just add a little bit of hot sauce or something to mine. But I'm gonna let you guys take a look. Here you go. So this is the start of my chili. And this is not a small pot. So if you look, that's a pretty good sized pot and it is almost full. It's gonna make a good bit of chili. So we'll go ahead and let this simmer and then we'll come back to it and show you guys how I can it. Okay, so if you're looking, the ingredients are pretty close to the same as what I use. I did wind up adding more chili powder as well as some more cilantro flakes and another 2 teaspoons of salt. And I didn't realize how big of a batch I made, so I actually wound up having to add another 2 heaping spoons of the brown sugar. But here we're going to process in the canner, 10 pounds pressure, and we're doing quarts. So quarts are going to go for 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right, and then you'll make sure that you turn off the heat, let the canner cool, and then once the pressure has gone down to 0, then we can take the jars out and let them sit on the counter. But over here we go. There's our chili. Got our jars. I'm gonna go ahead and, whoops, start filling them. Okay, there's 1 jar. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these up. Okay, so we went ahead and pressure can these for the 1 hour and 30 minutes it's required for the 1 quarts. It is now down to 0 pressure and been sitting. Still plenty hot. I'm going to remove the weight off of it. Make sure that my safety valve is down, which indicates that it's been completely depressurized. And then I will go ahead and turn the lid. Doing this one-handed is kind of interesting. Be careful because it'll probably steam up a bit as it comes out. So we want to make sure we don't burn ourselves. So I'm just letting some of the steam escape. And actually, hang on, because I'm going to need both hands to take this lid off properly. All right, with the lid off, you can see the jars are all in there and still kind of bubbling. Then I'm going to use my handy dandy jar lifters and set them on a towel. You don't want to set them on a cold countertop or anything like that. It could cause the glass to shatter. So, and then these will actually sit on my counter overnight. They need to sit undisturbed for 12 hours. And then I will label them and put them on the shelf, and we will happily enjoy this chili this winter. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting the rest of these out of here. Thanks for watching. And if you like what we do here, please hit the like and subscribe button, and as well as the bell for notifications on future videos. If you enjoyed this video, you may also enjoy one of these other videos. Y'all have a good one.